If you were on the internet from 2000 to 2018 or 2019 or even today, and you had the unfortunate side effect of being a woman, you probably encountered the insufferable phrase, "Go back to the kitchen and make me a sandwich." This line, often used in all caps and by an anonymous harasser, harkens back to an era when women's work and kitchen work were synonymous. Girls didn't have time to play video games. The pork would burn. The potatoes would be overdone. If a woman wasn't using a computer in the kitchen to look up recipes, then she didn't have the right to have her opinion heard online. This oversimplification is nonetheless what many women deal with on a day-to-day basis. Get back to the kitchen reinforces the stereotype that the kitchen is for women's work. Men can have their man caves, but women, they can stay in the kitchen. The 1950s called, they want their cliches back. But what happens when a man enters the kitchen to make his own sandwich? Suddenly what once was a chore becomes an art form, fine dining. Even though culinary students nowadays are evenly split between the genders, women only make up 7% of head chefs and restaurateurs in the United States. Of the 130 three-star Michelin restaurants around the globe, only 3 are headed up by a female head chef. And when women work in restaurants, their base pay on average is 28% less than that of their male counterparts. In a 2018 article about differences in gender in fine dining, CNN quoted a male food critic about why having a World's Best Female Chef award was inherently insulting. 4 paragraphs before quoting Dominique Crenn, recipient of said insulting award. The disparities here run deep. How is it that when cooking is monotonous and tiring and unpaid, it's women's work, but when there's respect, money, and success involved, it suddenly becomes a part of the man cave? You would have thought that the generations of wives, mothers, and daughters who spent every night over the hot stove would be the experts here. Apparently not. But women have to work harder and sacrifice more to receive the same success as men in this traditionally feminine space. From the struggle to secure funding for female-led restaurants, to the frequent disregard for family leave support, to the often rampant reports of sexual harassment, the head chef position is often far out of reach for female candidates, regardless of experience, commitment, or talent. This is twice as difficult for females of color or immigrants. Deborah Harris and Patty Gouffra offer a fascinating solution to this dilemma in their 2015 book, Taking the Heat, Women Chefs and Gender Inequality in the Professional Field. They argue that because cooking was relegated to women's work for thousands of years, the emerging field of professional cooking had to be a boys' club to maintain their precarious masculinity in the face of doing, essentially, a feminine chore for good pay. This required them to distance the status and success surrounding paid restaurant food from the common, everyday food prepared by unpaid women in their household. Thus, as women began entering the professional kitchen, the established hierarchy works to keep them at home. But it's 2020, you say. Things can change, you say. They can, but only by doing twice as much work for half the acknowledgement. It's a difficult recipe. A recipe for success. How to make fine dining more equal between the genders. Ingredients. 1 cup more women in culinary school, learning high-level techniques. 1/2 cup more female representation in television and reality shows about cooking, especially among judging panels. 3 cups more support systems for women seeking their own restaurants, including lawyers, mentors, and lenders. 10 cups more respect for women of color and immigrants who use cooking to preserve their culture, heritage, and identity, and in order to survive. 500 cups more women in every part of the restaurant industry, from catering to managing. Mix together, then bake at 350 for the next generation. Oh, the result is so sweet. Enjoy!